Everyone, thought I'd do a quick update on the crypto market and see how we are traveling. So, we're at a pretty critical zone area where you'd expect some kind of volatility to step in. Okay, and how markets work is that they zig and they zag, they zig and they zag. Okay, so one of two things is happening right now. We either bottomed, and that was a major bottom, and we're in the beginning of a bull market, or we zigged and we're getting a zag before we zig again. Okay, often a zag will come up to that 382618 zone. So show you what I mean. So if we get a fib retracement and we go from here to here, your zags will often come up to this kind of golden pocket zone, 382618. That stems from Dow theory. For every push, you get a 1/3 to 2/3 retracement. Show you an example here. When we had our push, you get a 1/3 to 2/3 retracement up to the 618. All right, so that's what people often look for, is for every push you get a retracement up to that zone before you can then continue down a bit more. All right, so that's why everyone is expecting that. And for every Bitcoin halving we've had, you've always had, prior to the halving, a pull up to the 618 zone and then a retracement. So going off history, we should get a rejection off this area before we then turn over. Okay. So that's why everyone's looking at this zone. So then on top of that, looking at this zone here, you then start to unpack what it's showing you. It's showing you bearish divergence on RSI and lower in volume. So then you've got signals telling you that it's weakening here as well. Okay. However, they are signals. And like I talked about in my post, you need to wait for this change of structure for the confirmation, because if you trade signals, it's the same as driving around in your car and every time you see a blinker doing something, you're reacting to that blinker. You'd have an accident every single week. You need to see the car actually moving, changing direction before you have confirmation that it is actually following its blinker. So you never trade signals, you wait for confirmation. So right now we still have higher, high, high, low, high, 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 low, and we're still higher, higher, high. We haven't broken market structure in any way yet. We need to break below this $42,000 before we have any form of change of market structure. Because at the moment, the buyers are still selling higher and they're still buying higher at the moment. Okay, so there's still nothing to worry about until we break below here. There are a lot of bearish signals. I myself said there's a big possibility this could be a top, but I said wait for more data still to play out. Okay, still need more data for it to see, is it going to actually roll over and do a low, 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 high and change its structure? That is what I'm still waiting on. That I'm still waiting on more evidence to see, is that playing out? Okay, I know that there's a really good chance it could happen around here, but we need to wait for that structure. The other thing that kind of put me off is that everyone has eyes on this 4850K zone. And when everyone has eyes on something, it often doesn't get there. If you think about when we had the 12K Bitcoin down here, everyone was calling 12K Bitcoin. No one said we're going to bottom at 15,300 bucks, whatever it was. No one. And no one prior to that said when we were here that we're going to bottom there. Okay, so often the targets that people are aiming for are the ones that don't happen. So in my eyes, it's either we're going to fall short and early now, or we're actually probably going to push past it and go a bit higher. So we'll see. If we do get past the $48,000 and we do get a weekly close above, that would be uncharted territory for Bitcoin, because it's never actually had a weekly close above that prior to the halving before. So that would be uncharted territory. And to be honest, that would probably send a lot of people bullish and go, oh, ETF, something's different, da da da. And then, you know, that would actually send that sentiment completely crazy. All right, so at the moment, still high, 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 low. I want to start to unpack some of the other key charts as well. So USDT dominance, which is the inverse relationship to Thinger. I was looking for it to get above this level. It has not, and it is starting to reject here as well. So that is a good sign that it hasn't got above there. If I ever get a daily candle close above that green zone, then that will confirm a possible change in structure on this downtrend, which would then start to show some life as well. So keep an eye on this one. So again, still need more data to unravel, just find out what's going on there with that one as well. One of the key ones that I was looking at was the others, and this is one that I had predicted quite a while ago that 230K would be a zone to get rejected. It did fall to over 20% from there. We have, however, found support. We are finding support off the support zone, which you would expect it to happen. Demand should be stepping in off the support zone here. Okay, support, 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 now support bouncing off. So what we need to know now is this actually going to print? Because right now it's lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Is this going to be another lower high, or is it going to come up and print a higher high? And at the moment, lower low, lower low, lower low. If it does do a high high, then needs to print a higher low. Then it needs to break the high, then you change your market structure. Okay, but at the moment, it is still in a downtrend. It is still forming lower low, lower high, and it's bounced off a support zone. It's been a pretty quick drop. You would expect at least a bounce here. Whether or not that bounce is just a bounce and then another rollover, we don't know. We need more data to see. Okay, we have no change of structure yet. At the moment, we just have another high, and it's not even actually a higher high yet. So right now, it is just rejecting old support as resistance. We're not rejecting, it's at old support that's now going to be resistance. We need to get through there, and we need to start to get above this kind of zone. You can see this was your resistance. That's now becoming resistance, resistance, support. It's now becoming future resistance. And then now you'd expect it to be as well. All right, so still a lot of work to do there, but same kind of principle as well. Total 3, which is your, oh geez, that's a bit of a mess, isn't it? Same thing here. This one has come down. I'll show you on the daily. Better see it better. What it's doing now is this old resistance here. Okay, old major resistance is becoming new support. So at the moment, that is still a good sign there that it's bouncing off old resistance as support, and it's holding its structure. So that's a good sign that it's doing that. If it does bounce off there, okay, and we do start to bounce off, you would also have hidden bullish divergence as well if that does play out. Okay, so we keep an eye on that as well. I personally took, like I said in my post, I took off because I was on phenomenal gains. Like I got in on the altcoins from the pretty much the exact lows. So I'm sitting. All of them had at least double bagged, some even more so. I had taken out my initial investment and just sitting on pretty much a free ride. Okay, so still I got about 60% of my liquidity in there, but now I got 40% cash. I might start to look to deploy some back in if I start to see some change of structures and things back on some of those altcoins that I exited. Okay, start to then position myself back, because the reason why I took them out was that it was all about risk to reward. We had hit my first target back on the others at 230 that I'd be stupid to not take profit at that target once I started to see weakness. Okay. Now, if it's come back to a zone where the risk to reward is starting to be a bit more worth it. Okay. 535 overextended, not worth it. After I had a pullback now down at 440, we've pulled back 20%. The risk to reward is a bit more worth it, because is this resistance going to be support? Okay. But it is very early days. We need to see at least a bit of a bounce off here, change of structure. At the end of the day, because that was your last pivot, we are still here. We have still got bullish market structure. Higher, 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 higher. So at the moment, as long as it stays above this kind of zone here at 448, your total 3 market cap, which is your crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, is still technically bullish as well. Okay, so it's had the healthy pullback, healthy corrective. Is this just a zag, or is it going to be a bigger zag, or is it actually the beginning of a new bear market coming down as well? Okay, we don't know. We just need to play it by ear. Right now, it's respecting old support again. It's becoming a demand zone. That is a good sign. The other thing I want to look at is your Bitcoin dominance. So if your alts are going to start popping off again, we do want to see this thing starting to take back off again. I mean, sorry, come back down. At the moment, this one here, it just did an ABC and now we've started to come up. So this is not good for altcoins if this starts to go back in an uptrend, and if we start to get back above here again, because then all that is just the trend is still going up. Okay, we're still going up. We're still going higher highs, And at the moment, we have got a lower low there, but it's still higher than this pivot here. So unless we take out that, which is that old resistance became support, what is that, 48%, we're still okay. Okay, so another thing to keep an eye on there as well. So overall, guys, some bearish signals like I've been talking about, but we need to see the change of structure for that confirmation. Alts have had that massive correction now, big 20%, 25% on the totals. So some of your individual ones are down 30, 40, some even 50%. They are hitting kind of prime major support levels. So you would expect at least a bit of demand to come in there. Is it just going to be a bounce, like a dead cat bounce, or is it actually going to be a bottom? So you got to go look at your coins that you had, see if they're showing some life, and that we may get some further run there. But now the risk to reward is favoring a possible long if it does start to go. Before it wasn't. Okay, so hope that helps, guys. Trade safe, be careful. It's always really, really tricky trading around major events. And often major events do mark significant tops in markets because there's so much hype and that around them that kind of who is left to buy once everyone is already known and bought for the anticipation of the event. So just be careful with that. I did a post with that before. CME Futures, Ethereum 2.0, the Canadian ETF, and that's just the crypto world. There's stock markets, the same thing. Once people are aware of the event, if you're aware of the news, it's often old news. And that stems back to DAO theory as well, that the market discounts everything. So just be really, really careful and make sure that you're playing it safe. All right, take care, everyone.